Did you know the average car buyer spends over 14 hours researching, visiting dealerships, and finalizing paperwork, yet still ends up making expensive mistakes? Buying a new car is one of the biggest purchases most people make, but even with all that time, it's easy to overlook the stuff that really matters. From getting ripped off on financing to skipping the test drive, these mistakes can cost you thousands, or worse, leave you stuck with a car you regret. In this video, we're breaking down the 10 most common mistakes people make when buying a new car and how to avoid every single one of them. Let's dive in. Number 1. Neglecting thorough research. A lot of buyers walk into dealerships without doing enough research, and that's where trouble starts. Skipping the homework phase can lead you to buy a car that doesn't suit your needs, breaks down more often, or costs you way more than you expected. According to Consumer Reports, nearly 40% of car buyers admit they didn't compare multiple models before buying. That's a big issue when you consider how much reliability, fuel economy, and resale value can vary from one brand to another. And it's not just about the car itself. People also forget to research local dealership ratings, financing options, and real-world ownership costs like insurance and maintenance. That lack of preparation can cost you thousands over the life of the car. Reliable sources like Edmunds, Kelley Blue Book, and even real owner reviews on forums or YouTube give you a clear picture of what you're actually getting into. Buying a new car without digging into this stuff is like signing a contract blind. It might look shiny on the outside, but it can turn into a financial headache fast. Number 2. Focusing solely on monthly payments. One of the biggest traps people fall into is zeroing in on the monthly payment and ignoring the bigger picture. Dealers know this, and they'll stretch the loan term to make the payment look low, even if it means you're paying way more in interest over time. For example, a 72-month loan might keep the payment under $500, but by the end of it, you've handed over thousands more than the car was ever worth. According to data from Experian, the average new car loan now lasts over 6 years, and interest on long-term loans can quietly drain your wallet. What's worse, if the car depreciates faster than you pay it off, which most new cars do, you can end up underwater on the loan. That means you owe more than the car is worth, which becomes a real problem if you need to sell it or if it gets totaled. The smarter move is to look at the total cost of the car sticker price, interest, loan term, and all the hidden fees, not just what it'll cost you each month. Number 3. Skipping the test drive. You can read all the specs, watch all the reviews, but none of that replaces actually sitting behind the wheel. Comfort, visibility, seat position, road noise, how the brakes respond, those things are personal, and you only notice them once you're driving. According to a study by Cox Automotive, around 16% of new car buyers didn't test drive the vehicle before buying it. That's surprisingly high for a purchase that can cost $30,000 or more, and most of the automakers tweak the driving feel between trims and model years. So even if you test drove a similar car before, you're not guaranteed the same experience. A 20-minute drive can reveal things you won't see in the showroom: jerky transmission shifts, awkward blind spots, or maybe the infotainment system that just doesn't work for you. Number 4. Overlooking pre-approved financing. Walking into a dealership without pre-approved financing is like showing up to a poker game with your cards face up. You're giving the dealer all the power. Most people assume the dealer will find them the best rate, but that's not always true. Dealerships often mark up interest rates to make extra profit on the back end, and unless you've already compared offers from a bank or credit union, you might not even realize you're overpaying. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, people who finance through the dealer can pay as much as 1.5% more in interest compared to those who secure financing on their own. That adds up fast. Even a single percentage point difference on a $30,000 loan can cost you hundreds or even thousands over the life of the loan. Getting pre-approved doesn't mean you have to use that lender, but it gives you a baseline. it tells you what you qualify for and gives you real leverage when you sit down to negotiate. Number 5, underestimating the total cost of ownership. A lot of buyers get caught up in the sticker price and completely overlook what the car will cost them after they drive off the lot. But the truth is, the purchase price is just the beginning. Insurance, maintenance, fuel, tires, registration fees, they all add up fast. And some cars, even ones that seem affordable up front, can quietly drain your wallet over time. Take this. AAA estimates the average annual cost to own and operate a new vehicle in the US is over $12,000. That's $1,000 a month when you factor in everything. And if you're going for a high performance or luxury model, those numbers can spike even higher with premium fuel and expensive parts. People also forget about depreciation. Some new cars lose 20% of their value in the first year alone. That hits hard if you decide to sell or trade it in early. So while that shiny SUV or sporty sedan might fit your budget today, you've got to ask yourself, can you afford it over the long haul? If not, you're setting yourself up for a financial squeeze that lasts way longer than the showroom excitement. Number 6, not researching trade-in value. A lot of people show up to the dealership without knowing what their current car is actually worth, and that's where they lose money without even realizing it. Dealerships count on this. If you don't have a number in mind, they'll offer you the lowest value they can get away with, often way below market. According to a report from Edmunds, trade-ins can vary by hundreds or even thousands depending on how informed the seller is. Tools like Kelley Blue Book, Edmunds, and Car Gurus give you real-time estimates based on your car's condition, mileage, and local demand. You don't have to be a pro to use them either. It takes 5 minutes to pull a ballpark number. And if your car's in good shape, consider getting quotes from multiple dealerships or instant cash offers online. Walking in with a verified estimate gives you negotiation power. Without that, you're pretty much leaving money on the table, and once you hand over the keys, there's no going back. That extra cash could go toward your new car's down payment or help you lower your loan. Number 7, ignoring vehicle history reports. A car might look clean on the outside, shiny paint, detailed interior, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been through hell. It could have been in a major accident, had flood damage, or even been written off and rebuilt without you knowing. According to Carfax, 1 in 10 vehicles on the road has some kind of hidden issue that would have shown up on a report. These reports reveal crucial details: number of previous owners, service history, mileage accuracy, and whether it's ever had a salvage title. It's not just about protecting your money, it's about protecting your safety too. Some damaged vehicles can have frame issues or airbag systems that won't work right in a crash. And the worst part? If you don't check the history and find out too late, the resale value tanks. Services like Carfax, AutoCheck, or even some dealership portals give you this info in minutes. If the seller isn't offering it, that's already a red flag. Number 8, failing to negotiate the price. When you don't negotiate, you're essentially giving up the chance to bring that cost down. Dealerships often set prices with plenty of wiggle room, knowing most people won't push back. Research indicates that a well-negotiated deal can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. A buyer who comes prepared with market comparisons, invoice pricing details, and a firm understanding of their budget stands a much better chance of securing a fair price. Not negotiating means you're leaving savings on the table, which could have been used for extra features or simply reducing your loan amount. In essence, skipping the negotiation process is a missed opportunity to make a smart financial decision right from the start. Number 9, overlooking new tariffs and taxes. We're not just talking about sales tax here. In recent years, government-imposed tariffs on imported vehicles and parts have quietly pushed prices higher, especially for models from Europe and Asia. A 25% tariff on certain imported vehicles, for example, can add thousands to the MSRP without most people noticing why. Then there are destination fees, registration costs, emission surcharges in some states, and local taxes that vary wildly depending on where you live. In places like California or New York, buyers often get hit with higher vehicle licensing fees or even annual property taxes on their cars. All of these costs pile on after the sticker price, and if you haven't factored them into your budget, they can seriously throw off your financing plan. Number 10, not reviewing the final paperwork thoroughly. After hours at the dealership, the car is picked out, the deal is agreed on, and you just want to sign and get out of there. But rushing through the paperwork is where costly surprises slip in. Dealers can quietly add things like extended warranties, paint protection, Vian etching, or other fees you never agreed to. And once you sign, those extras become part of your loan. According to the National Consumer Law Center, errors or sneaky add-ons in car contracts are way more common than most buyers realize. That final stack of documents isn't just routine, it's legally binding. Take your time, double-check the numbers. Make sure the loan term, interest rate, down payment, and vehicle price all match what you discussed. And if something doesn't look right, stop and ask. It's your right. Walking away is still an option until you sign.